Hey guys, this is my review for Kingdom Wars, which is a free-to-play game on Steam, and basically it's a real-time strategy game, and you've got your choice between three races, which is basically the elves, the humans, or the orcs, and then you play as these races, and you get a preset town, and you basically just build it, gather resources automatically using your light villages or wisps or whatever your race has that generates them, and then you build an army and you go and attack like computer players, or you can attack human players. But human players is kind of laggy if you're playing against someone. Even in single player, this game is still quite laggy, but not quite as laggy as multiplayer games on the internet when you're playing this one. So basically, there is like a slight campaign to this game. I say slight because there are missions, but they're not like very story centered or exciting necessarily. It's more just doing a mission and then getting crowns for it, and then that's like your story. It's not really a proper like cinematic explaining what's happening sort of thing. Since this is a multiplayer game, it is probably not the best. I mean, when you play a multiplayer game, you want one that's not laggy or anything like that, because then it kind of ruins it. If you don't live like close to the servers, you're going to get quite a high ping, which I did find with this game. But obviously, I do know other people who live closer to where the servers are for this game, and they also found that they still get lag with this. This game's quite old now. It wasn't originally called Kingdom Wars, it was actually called Dawn of War, and I actually bought it when it was first released, which was a couple years ago. They weren't originally on Steam. It went to Steam, I think, maybe one or 2 years ago. It went to Steam, and then you could transfer your original game, which I did. So the base game Dawn of War actually has a single player campaign. I'm not going to include that in this review because I'm just reviewing Kingdom Wars, which is the free online one that they have. That doesn't actually include a single player game in the free version. You have to pay to be able to play single player. So if you buy the base game, you'll get a heap of extra slots, so you can have more races and play as other people in this game. But if you're only playing the free version, they only give you one slot, which means you can only play as one race. So you kind of have to make a good choice. But since I brought the actual game, I got to play with I think 14 slots, which means I could try out all the races, even though it was only free. But you can use different regions of the map to have extra bonuses for your races. So I could try out all the races, although I don't really think there's much point. Really, there's not that much difference between them. I mean, it's mainly just the base layouts that are different. Like, humans have their bases spread out quite far, so they're a lot easier to defend. Whereas elves, everything's really scrunched together, but then they've got a lot of terrain that sort of helps defend their bases, because it's really hard to get all your troops to the base. Orcs are more sort of they've got quite a large map, but their bases are still quite grouped together. So basically, you just keep on building your city, and you build defenses, and you put siege weapons and stuff, and you defend against other players who try and attack you for crowns. Crowns are used for buying really good units in the game, or upgrades for your current stuff, like improving movement speeds, units attack damage, all sort of upgrades that you basically would want for your people. Probably the downside to this game is that, obviously, since it's got a crown-based money system, this game does become pay to win, because if you want a good item, you just pay a couple dollars and you could get it, whereas if you want to play completely free, you're going to have to slowly grind your way, earning gold and battling to get enough gold to get crowns, or just continuously do PvP. And obviously, if you're doing continuous PvP, you're going to need lots more food and wood and stuff to build units. So you're gonna find it quite hard if you want to keep up with someone who's just paying money to get really good items. Obviously, this game is quite old though. I think there's not that many servers. I think each server has like a maximum of 100 people, and basically you just get chucked onto one of those servers, and it's like random searching sort of thing for this game. They don't really have like being able to target anyone, which is really stupid because they have this whole really cool looking world map, and then it only has your city and the NPC cities on it, which I thought was entirely stupid. Because the main reason why I wanted to play this game online was because it says it's a co-op game, which it barely is. I mean, I'd barely pass it as a co-op game. But yeah, but it says it's a co-op game, so I was expecting that I'd actually be able to see my friends' like city and then be able to interact with them and do whatever with them. But no, you have to actively add them to your friend list, and even then you can't see them. You have to like just send them whatever stuff using their name in a like drop down menu sort of thing. And then for co-op missions, you have to have like very similar army, and the like point system, like each unit's worth a certain amount of points, so you have to have a similar amount of points together to co-op. And even then you can't co-op all the missions, you can only co-op a select number of them. Usually it's NPC cities or just basic non-story related missions that you can co-op. So I wouldn't really class it as a co-op game. It's more like an online battle game than co-op. Their co-op is so stupid. I don't know why they even bothered like adding it in, even though co-op is still super laggy because it is multiplayer. Otherwise, apart from it being pay to win, super laggy, there was a few bugs where it doesn't save before you logged out. That happened a couple times, but luckily the support on this game was quite good. Basically, if you have a problem, just contact support, and then they'll send you like, I think about $10 worth of crowns, which is like more than what the actual game costs. But they'll send you that, and then you can just buy pretty much everything that you'd need, all the expensive buildings. I think I had one problem where I lost 20 crowns in a bug, and then so I contacted the support, and they sent me, I think, like 380 crowns as compensation. So basically I was able to just buy like a dragon and all of these upgrades that I'd been really wanting. So I guess they kind of didn't really want to have to deal with any of fixing the bugs that they were having, but I guess they're focusing more on the next Kingdom Wars game, because they're going to be releasing a Kingdom Wars 2. I'm not sure if they actually have released it yet or not, or if it's just in beta at the moment, but I know they're only really focusing on that. They're going to stop supporting the Kingdom Wars, which is free at the moment. Kingdom Wars 2 will be, you have to buy it. It'll probably end up going free to play, because I don't think Kingdom Wars really makes that much money, which is why I went free to play the first time. But I guess it's mainly just because they didn't really put enough effort into making it easy to play. They've done a lot of updates to the game, but one thing they've really failed to do was just improve the lag issues. From the moment I bought it to now, they've been saying that they fixed all the lag issues, but they haven't. It's still just as bad as when I bought the game the first time. But otherwise, if you can get past that the game has no storyline, it's very bad co-op. The gameplay is quite fun. It's very similar to, I think it's Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship maybe, or one of them. There's like a Lord of the Rings game which is very similar to this, minus the online slow timing sort of thing. It's more of a straight strategy, fast-paced sort of game, which is a lot more fun to this one. But the gameplay style is pretty much exactly the same. You got the same set building slots. It comes up with like the little circly panel thing. You just choose which building you want in that slot. But it's a better story, better gameplay. The cavalry in Lord of the Rings is much better to this game. In this game, the cavalry is really stupid. They're meant to do trample damage, but they don't. They barely kill any melee units. If you want to win in this game, just get an army of dwarves or something. They're way stronger than all the base units, since obviously you buy them with crowns, and crown units are much stronger. But if you want to play a pay-to-win game that's very slow, takes a long time to play, it's very laggy, has quite a few bugs, then you should definitely play this, because you'll love it. But otherwise, I mean, I did have fun in this game. It's got fun gameplay. You don't really get to talk with other players unless they actively are in chat. You quite often have people leaving your online games, and then even if it's a co-op, because sometimes when you search for other PvP matches, they match you up in a co-op match. Even when I did that, they still would quit because they didn't think your army was good enough, or they had to go. And I think there's a timeout on the server where if your match takes longer than 30 minutes, then you get kicked from the server. So that happened a few times. So basically, it's kind of a fail when it comes to multiplayer. I don't think they did the best job of it. I reckon they'll probably do a lot better in Kingdom Wars 2, since obviously they must be able to afford it somehow. I'm guessing it's just from all the money they earn from people paying for items. But yeah, otherwise, if I had to rate it, I'd only give it a 5 out of 10, because it's not the best game. It's not necessarily like super fun, but it is alright for a while. The story and stuff sucks so bad. It's just all text reading. There's not really anyone that actually does a cinematic or talks to you properly. They could have added a narration that would have made this game a lot better, but no. Just basic, slow, boring, like, depressing stuff. But I did have fun for like the first wee while, when I was first getting used to the game and getting used to what all the characters did. And I had like a couple cities, and then I was playing with my friends and stuff. That was alright, but the game gets very boring after a while, especially when you've built most of the buildings and got lots of good units and lots of upgrades. The game sort of becomes pointless. So I'm only going to give the game a 5 out of 10. If you don't agree with my opinion, or you do agree with it, just drop what you thought of the game in the comments below this video. I'm only going to give it a 5 out of 10. Okay guys, see ya.